Hello everybody out there and welcome back to another indie comic book review, recording it on time and should be up Monday morning if all goes well, and sometime during Monday we should have the Big 2 review up after Mike gets home from work. So, let's waste no time. We got a lot of, well, that's actually not true. We have a few books this week.
We have the Mike books.
Yes, basically it's all Mike. I have 2 physical books and that's it. We have a couple of physical books, but we do have one book that did not come out this week, which the books in this review, however, were released on
June 10, 2015.
Okay. But this book was not released June 10th. This book is from Superhero Nation, I believe. Nation?
Network.
Network. Sorry.
Yeah.
I always want to say Nation for some reason, but...
Yeah. The last of the Myrmidons, I think that's how you say it. Issue number 1.
Myrmidons.
Myrmidons.
Say that 10 times fast, people.
Yeah. And basically this takes place in New York City, and it's about this guy who goes by name of, well, they might call him like Chico, but he says his name is Hedgehog, so I guess it's something like that. And he comes across this book, and this book has like all these monsters and stuff like that. And we get a little bit of these being more than just monsters as we read. So he has to deliver it to
Hee-haw?
No, Mr. Claymora. Oh, by the way, let me show you some artwork, which is drawn very nicely, I would say. And basically, when he goes to him, he tells him more about this book. And when he goes to him, he's like saying, like, this is who my Claymora is. And he tells him about the book, that it, you know, that there's dark pages, and it talks about the origins. And it's not just monsters they're dealing with. Demons that is in this book. And then he meets up with some other guy, Ellis, that he talks to about this book, and to keep it under wraps, not to tell anyone else. So we get into the dark world a little bit, and into the portal where he and Mr. Claymora, along with Ellis, who comes in, are fighting off against these lizard-like, or lizard demons actually. And after all that happens, then they just you know, move on and see what there's more far ahead of them. And basically, since he chose the book now, he is known now to be the chosen one to, you know, it's basically a lot of stuff here. But this was a great read, and if you want to check out more stuff, this is their website of shn.com. Or comics.com.
shncomics.com.
Okay, so let's get into this week's books. Archie Comics Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 273, World Unite Part 3 of 12. And I could just sum up this whole book. It's basically...
Every time he says I could sum up this whole book, he goes through the book from beginning to end and says a lot. Yeah, sum it up.
It's basically just Sonic...
Did Street Fighter come in yet, or any of the other...
No.
Nothing yet.
Not yet. It's gonna be coming, I hope, hopefully soon. So it's basically a Sonic Man and Mega Man's world who are taking out the Mega Man robots, or Dr. Light's robots, with the portal. And Mega Man taking out all Sonic's friends in Sonic's world. And one by one, like, the Sonic and Mega Man just take them out with all their robot powers beyond their imagination. And the artwork's like really fantastically drawn. And so they are going to open the portal, and with that, Master Sigma can now control both worlds. Like, they'll be fused and whatnot. And at the end, they come across a target that's acquired for both Mega Man, or Sonic Man, and Mega Man.
Or Egga Man.
It's Mega Man. I don't ask me, ask the writers. They wrote the names, but...
No, it's not them. I questioned Dr. Eggman.
Oh, well, that's...
They have the way of...
Really great book. Definitely, I'm looking forward to reading the next part of that. And my next book from IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics Volume 3, Issue number 6.
Yeah, you're knee-deep now in the City at War.
Yeah, this is City at War Part 4 of 13. And it talks a little bit about April living at her sister's house and everything, along with Casey Jones finding out that Gabe that he's living with is 4 months pregnant, and he declared just to stay with her because he wants to. And then it just goes through the book where...
I thought he was living with April.
Well, he was on the search looking for April because April ran away living with the sister. In the last issue, he met her, Gabe at the bar, and when he got beat up, she took him in, and then they did and yeah. And basically the whole book looks like this with the turtles, just fighting against the Foot Clan, and lots of other chaotic things that are happening as well. And they just had to retreat because Leo just didn't want to escalate the conflict or anything. And so as that happens, they just want to see what more they can do. And then Tokyo, Japan, there's something that is going to go after the turtles that they should act on immediately, or the city itself. So
I'm excited. Next week, April and Casey from the ongoing series from this gen is actually going to be starting. I'm looking forward to that. All right, we're in Image. This is one of my 2 books. Saga issue number 29. Marco and Prince Robot IV are still being chased after by some of the prince's minions, part of the robot army, and the prince is no longer a prince because he sided with Marco, but the prince is chasing after his baby, which the janitor, whose name completely left me for the moment, still has, but he is trying to... Well, let's go to the beginning first, where it turns out that the leader, or the person who's leading the resistance, wants to kill the robot janitor, whose name... Why can I not remember this person's name at all? I'll remember in a second. I'm not going to talk about the dragon scene with the little girl. But Marcos and Prince Robot IV, they escape. Alana's trying to see her baby one more time, at least before they leave, but obviously this is it's obvious that she's just going to try to rescue the baby, but she doesn't get to see... She doesn't do that because all hell breaks loose where the baby is. I can't remember this guy's name completely, but anyway, he saves Hazel, and the grandmother takes Hazel away and leaves the robot. I can't remember this guy's name, the one that's holding the prince's baby, but anyway, it kind of leaves off with him turning on the people who were going to take the baby because they were going to turn on him, and then it turns out things don't go so well for Marcos' ex-girlfriend, and yeah, things go really, really, really... I mean, like, it looks horrible by the end of this issue for them, and trying to save the Mark.
Yeah. So that looks like, wow.
So it's like, whoa. Finally, I got most of the names right. I've still got a couple of names to memorize, but this series is really great. I can't wait for issue 30. I believe that's when Marcos should be showing up to save the baby, but
Could you move on?
the other guy, the other guy already did it for him.
There we go. The Walking
I feel
Dead.
better too, so don't feel...
The Walking Dead issue number 142 from Image. And basically, Rick found out that Carl went missing and stuff like that. But we'll get to that. Basically, it's just Miss Green like saying, you know, we did our deeds, so we just this will be the last time we ever kill anybody again. So that was like saying, okay.
Nobody believes her.
Yeah, nobody believes her. So then, you know, there's just a whole thing where they're getting ready for this fair that's going on, and then Carl is talking with Leah, like saying, you know, like, you don't have names, just call them like by you know, like just by the regular name, instead of mother or dad, like it's just like just regular names. And here's some artwork here, by the way. And Carl just has talk with Alpha, like saying, you know, my dad kept us alive with all this, and you're putting Lydia in danger with the way the world is with all these walkers. And then in comes in the scene where Maggie tells Rick that he's gone missing, and he's just really angry about it. So Rick brings Michonne along with her to go look for Carl, while Eugene is keeping everything, you know, keeping the floor and everything. And we have someone that actually enters their community. And you know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. That's really something else. So, definitely gotta say that that's a great issue.
Birthright, issue number 8. Oh, things are really getting better in this book. Alright, so in the last issue, Brendan got shot. In this issue, Mikey has to find a way to save Brennan without going to the hospital, because obviously they're fugitives from the law right now. And it turns out that the Mythic from Tyrannos, or however you pronounce it, possesses these 300 that we saw in the previous issue, and basically it uses them to try to stop Mikey, but we'll get to that later. Brendan also in this issue, by the way here, they actually terraform some of the Earth to look like Tyrannos, and that's not a good thing.
No, it's not at all.
So they want Mikey. Mikey runs away with Brendan because he wants Brendan to be safe. Then the girlfriend with the wings, the pregnant one, she's on the trail of Mikey, but then she gets chased after by the FBI agent. And let's just say action-packed awesomeness happens there. But she's pregnant, so she has to be careful. And I love how she tells the baby, I hope you don't have as hard a head as your father. So Mikey gets Brendan to the outpost with his help, and Brendan, like I said, admits to Mikey, I know, I saw the real you, and basically admitting he saw that face that's possessing Mikey. And then the avatars show up. I'll call them avatars. I don't know what you would call them right now. And same thing, actually, I had a feeling we'd see the bear again, and then the bear that Mikey killed out of, just to prove that, he could, like, out of malice, as the Avatar says. They're there to either cleanse Mikey of his possession or erase everything in existence in that area to stop Mikey from bringing in, bringing in the other guy, because the thing that's possessing Mikey actually tells him to leave his brother behind, and he refuses to. Lore. So they're trying to stop Mikey from bringing Lore in, and the thing that's possessing Mikey that works with Lore is telling him basically to leave everything alone and just go after the wizard. So really, the book is picking up really nicely, and I'm really loving the pace. Hopefully there'll be a way to save Mikey from this possession, and then he'll go after Lore. That's the goal I hope that the writer is looking for us to actually get to that end game where he'll go back to Tyrannos, or Lore will come to Earth, and then Mikey will save the Earth from Lore once and for all.
Alright, here's an interesting cover. Robin Hood, issue number 11 from Xenoscope, the New York Comic Con comic.
Which is interesting, because New York Comic Con isn't for another couple of months.
Right, in October, and hopefully Mr. Patrick Sham will sign this because of the awesome cover that he did on this. But basically, this cover is about a hammer that they need to get, that, the Warhammer, because it has like lots of history to it, and they need to get it because it can hurt other people. It could cause like a sickness and stuff like that. So the guy who she goes to that sold it to was at this person that is gonna be going to New York Comic Con, and we get that right here. It really brought back like
I wonder what issue Michael's going to bring to New York Comic Con.
I just said that. So they're there just looking for the hammer, and these wolves, I forgot who they were.
There's the Xenoscope booth from last year.
Of Charm, yeah. And they're looking for it as well, so the hammer that was there was being sold by someone else as well. And it's just like a whole big scene that happens where Robyn and Marion get some action going on there. And first of all, the artwork is really amazing.
And I love the use of New York Comic Con and cosplay.
The use of New York Comic Con. Just thinking that it would actually probably happen, stuff like that. So yeah, they go to Lord Benzai saying that they were defeated by Robyn, and basically the curse will be lifted from the hammer. Basically, they told the hammer to be free, and the curse is broken, which means Lord Bentai has died. So, then Mandarin and this Sam try to get back together by going on Marion to get on their date night, and then basically I think Peter's his name. I think his name's Peter. He sees somebody in the end that was I guess like a friend to him or something. But this was like really an awesome book. Definitely gonna bring this to New York Comic Con, and hopefully, Mr. Sham, when you're there, you will sign it because it's just that amazing. So now we go into Mikey's digital books.
Yeah, because they're all Mikey's.
Because they're all mine.
Alright, Bill and Ted, The Awesome Adventures, what was
the
it?
Most Triumphant.
Most Triumphant Return, issue number 4 of 6.
Yeah. And basically, in this issue, they found out that Nicholas has taken their song, so what they're doing is that they're going to try to, get their names, Bill and Ted's names back. So they meet up with the future Bill, I think.
Yeah, it's Bill.
Yeah. They meet up with future Bill, and then he's telling them, how they tried doing their music, but then things went a little bit downhill, sort of. And, we get a little bit of who he got married to, and was the girl they didn't like, and she actually turned out from being ugly to being hot, which I found funny. And Ted is actually in the army, because we find a little bit about them, because they didn't talk to each other as much when they separated. So, yeah, that's basically it. It's just the whole thing of preventing Nicholas from being the biggest rock star, because even though he's a rock star, he still has sights on killing both Bill and Ted. And I knew that was coming, and the whole wig thing that he was wearing to cover up that he doesn't have hair, because he was pretending to have hair and all that stuff. So he uses the robots to try to kill Bill and Ted, just to get them out of the way. And it's just like a whole big action-packed scene, and I like how Nicholas tries to use his guitar for the whole, to try to stop them. In the future, Bill and Ted save the present Bill and Ted to go in the booth, going back in time, and, well, let's just say that they landed in a place where it's gone from worse to absolutely much worse. And it's not good for them. And then we got a second story. The second story I didn't bother reading because it was very sketchy, and it was just...
It's just them rocking out.
It's just them rocking out, and that's it. Just mocking Nicholas's whole thing of being in a band and whatnot. So I guess that's what it is.
Dynamite now for a couple of issues. We've got Lady Rawhide, Lady Zorro, issue number 3.
Yeah, and in this one, both of them are saving the ladies that are in the in like these prison cells outside in the cold night, because there are these gangs who capture these ladies. So what they want to do is that they want to bring them to justice, or by killing them, whatnot, to save them from the carriage that they're being locked up in. So, and they have the wolves with them too. So basically it's like saying, release them or we just feed you to the wolves and that's it. Because they're on Lady Rawhide and Lady Zorro's side. So they go to save them from the cell and everything, and things get a little bit dicey for a while. And then what they want to do is that they want to, I guess, build their own army of the ladies that are in it, because of certain things that are still happening there. Because the commissioner from the last issue is going to still come after them, so they want to build a whole army of them, and basically just to they did it mostly to save the ladies from being kidnapped. Like, they didn't like that ladies were always kidnapped by these men, so they did it for that as well. And they go to this guy, I forgot what his name was, the one with the one eye. And they're just going to wait until the weather clears, because it's very weather, like the snow storm out there. And they're going to find out where they're going to go from there to where the next adventure will be. So, I'd say it's pretty good issue.
Okay, Reanimator, issue number 3.
And I'm gonna try to see if I remember all this because it's a lot to take in.
Wow,
It's
I'm
basically
looking at
it's basically just Herbert West who has this new serum, and she asks the other group to give back Susan back to him in order to get back the antidote. And we learn more about this antidote along with why her fiance died, because she thinks that Herbert West killed him, and then he said, You're right about the part of being there, but did I kill him? Absolutely not. It was this gang or friend of his, I can't remember the name because you're going too fast, Nate, and or was that his...
Yeah, Nate.
Yeah, Nate, basically. And, no, Nate is her fiance. It's the other guy's name.
Samdi?
There's a gang called Grizz Boys. Samney, yeah, I think that's his name. And there was like this whole thing of like him saying, you know, I'm with my fiance now and I can't be in this gang anymore, do all this stuff. So then with him changing, they said, you know, you gotta live up your... They tell the other guy, you know, you gotta just show him, you know, who's boss and everything. So he winds up shooting him. And then when he shot him, the whole... No, that's just my phone, don't worry. The whole thing happens there where when he shoots him, then the doctor, Herbert West, tried to find out, you know, how he could bring him back to life. So he uses the serum to bring him back. And then it's just like a whole big thing that happens afterwards of just, you know, bringing him in. And then he's like saying, you could do one or two things. You could shoot me, or we could just find out the guy who killed your fiance. And she winds up doing that. So in the meantime, after that, that's where it all leads up into that. So really, some stuff here.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Alright. We're in... Oh, this is IDW. I'll move it over. Let's go in Image first. It's one book. We'll just flip them on the list.
Yeah.
Savage Dragon, number 204. Oh, I hate
in this issue,
girl, Tara, so much.
Yeah, Tyara is pregnant with Malcolm's baby, and she's like saying, you know, I'm pregnant and everything, so you should.
He actually tells her to get an abortion because she said that it almost killed my mom, and she was a superhero.
Yeah, and all that stuff. So after that, like when she says to get an abortion, she's all like, you know, like, I'm not going to do that and all this and that. So it was just like a whole big thing. Because then Malcolm had to tell his other lover... Can you go down, please? His other lover, who is that? I can't remember her name.
Oh, Maxine.
Yeah, Maxine, yeah. Like, he told Maxine about the whole thing of just saying, you know, like he's engaged to her.
He basically tells Tyara he's engaged to Maxine, he's going to marry her, he'll step up with child support and whatever else is needed, but that's it.
Yeah, and then she's just saying this conversation ain't over between us, so that's going to probably lead into other issues and stuff like that. So throughout the whole issue and everything, it's just Malcolm, you know, going to a party of some sort with Maxine, and then there's a whole thing between Angel and Frank to have a little bit of a talk with each other.
Angel and Frank look like they're getting back together, but then that's when Malcolm asks to talk to her privately because he's afraid that if what happened with Tyara happened, then that might mean that Angel's pregnant also.
Right. And then...
turns out she is.
Well, of course. And then after that, there's just like a whole big fight that happens between him and Angel. And Angel is saying now that she's pregnant, and I'm just like, wow, what, Malcolm? What did you do? Why? It's just like with one after another. I mean, after that whole up all night thing, you know, of what they were doing, you know, Malcolm just went a little too far. So he just went into a pot of boiling water now, because now he has two of the ladies pregnant now, and that's just like really something else.
And Tyara's looking to mess with Malcolm, and she goes to the press, and then the press asks about it, and then she finds out it was crazy.
Crazy issue, but man, oh man. That was really a funny issue, that one. All right. Yes?
Long Distance issue number 1.
Yes, and you said you didn't really like this book.
I didn't read it fully.
Oh, I thought you said you... My mistake. But anyway, it's just about... I can remember his name. Go down. It's basically about two people who meet at the airport, and it's like a whole long-distance relationship thing that happened, which long distance, that's why the comic is that. So this guy, he like travels the whole world by plane, and was at New York City. It was like this big snowstorm, and this kid,
so that's the president now. It went back in time.
Yeah, and then this kid who that knocked him over. This woman comes to him and
helps him up
and everything, and then they start talking to each other. Where she's like Carter Blue is the guy and Lee Smith's the girl. So it's Carter Blue meeting with Lee Smith. And Carter tells about what he does, and basically what he does is like a traveler, and he's like doing like all art stuff. And Lee is an out-tail salesperson. So they both like do different things, and they just got to know each other more and getting connected a little bit, which led to just, you know, them getting more of a love interest, and
then they kiss, and then he and her separate.
Because Carter's from Columbus, and Lee is from Ohio, Chicago.
Lee is from Chicago. Columbus is in Ohio.
I couldn't remember. Excuse me. Lee went to Chicago and Carter's in
And they're both talking
Ohio.
about each other to their friends and whatnot.
Right, and then they're like saying, you know, well, he must be a nice boy and everything, or girl, and there's just like a whole big thing. It's just them trying to, you know, like they're still on their minds, and they call each other and whatnot, and voice call as well, and Carter just says, you know, I really want to meet up with you, so how about we just meet up somewhere? Like he basically goes to Chicago because he has the next ticket there. So when he travels to Chicago, he goes to meet up with her there at her place, and then they get together, and it's just...
Looks like a happy ending, but
I could definitely relate to that, you know? I could definitely and honestly relate to that. It's a really heartfelt story. How many minutes we got?
Let me check.
We should go to the next part.
Alright, so give us just 2 seconds, and then we will be right back with the rest of this week's books. Alright, we're back. Angry Bird Comics, issue number 12.
Alright.
Several stories in this one, I think 4.
Yeah, there's 4 stories. So the first one's called When the Volcano Blows. Now, I didn't think that actually, you know, Angry Birds live near volcanoes. So they see the smoke, and of course the green pigs are the ones that are always behind this, and the blue birds actually found out where all the smoke's coming from. And, you know, then the birds just go all over them, because with the smoke, it'll chase out the birds and probably leave the eggs behind. So the birds find out, and they... basically start to play around where the pigs were with the smoke and have their little fun. The second story, The 3 Little Pigs, it's of course about the 3 pigs, and it's just like about their
dreams about stealing
the 3
eggs.
little pigs, yeah, like they steal the eggs, and then the birds, you know,
the wolves?
They were gonna wear wolf's masks, but then they said birds, and they said, you know, little pigs, let me in. They try to remember to say not by hair of our chin chins, and they go out the door, and they get beaten up by the birds, and they still have the eggs. So they went into, it was a straw house. Then they went into the house made of something else, because I can't remember the third one.
Straws, sticks.
Yeah, sticks, and then the third one was bricks, and they couldn't get in. So then after that, the big bird actually destroyed the bricks. And that was like a real shocking thing. Then the next one, Quiet Without Chuck. You know, Chuck is always like going around making noises, and we find out where he actually is on the trees. And then the last story of the Bad Piggies. Go
that was the last story? Oh.
Yeah, the Bad Piggies. Go down. Yeah. Where they're in the classroom and they're just scribbling down about the whole
Eggs.
Like the eggs and stuff like that, and basically they just show their art of just loving eggs and stealing them. And that's the end of the book. I found it to be really hilarious.
Kids will love this book, I'll tell you what.
They will, and it's really awesome.
Insufferable, issue number 2. Man, this book just keeps getting better and better, in my opinion.
It does, really. And in this issue, it's about both of them finding out the mystery about their mother, Lauren.
Well, first we find out how the mother died.
And it was because of that guy. Oh, wow, what's his name?
The dad?
Yeah, the dad, because he could have saved her when she was in trouble in the iceberg, and he didn't go in time to save her from that. And he knew that she was in trouble. Notorious, I think his name is. And the son doesn't know that it's his fault that all this happened. That's the kind of messed up part. So then, as the issue continues, both the father and the son, they have the urn, and the urn comes to life, like saying...
It explodes and says,
"Help me." Has helped me with the ashes. So the son, I really wish I remember what his name was. Galahad. He actually has to look up the mystery of why this whole thing happened. And he thinks that he could bring his mother, that his mother's still alive. That's what the whole Galahad was thinking about when he used the microscope. So then the father, Notorious, goes to Lieutenant Rainwood and finds out on the news about what his son is saying and doing, thinking that his mother's still alive. And
yeah, he hates that his son is very public. He actually not breaks in, but he goes into his son's apartment, and you see the son crying, and he tries to reach out for the son, and he's like, the kid doesn't even know I'm here, I bet. And then he says something, and the kid just jumps up.
Because they said that nobody was here, when he went back to his house. That's why he's like saying, Jesus, you scared me, like, how'd you get in and stuff. So he's just saying, this whole thing isn't about you because, you just gotta... There's just like a whole big thing of, how can I say this? Like, they basically are looking for the serial killer that's on the loose in St. Barrington. And,
the Praetorian.
Yeah, and then they find him.
He was retired, and then this guy, we don't know who he is yet, but he basically screws him back into the evil job doing.
Yeah, so he's like saying, you got your fingerprints all over the knife, so do as I say, and
he tricks him.
And he tricks him basically.
So he's back in the villain business.
And then both Galahad and Notorious, they meet up with this person that knows a lot about the mother, and then in the end,
Notorious, I couldn't believe he did that at the end.
He just knocked. I can't say it.
It was a shocking ending, but I think there's something more to it.
Real shocking ending, really.
Love it. Mark Waid's doing an excellent job with this book. I can't wait to read the next issue. All right, we're in Valiant for the last 2 books. Unity issue 19.
And in Unity issue of this issue, it just talks about this girl named Warmonger. And Warmonger just tells about the story about herself, that there are this village that she lived in. They were doing like horrible stuff, and she actually killed this guy, or not killed him, like crippled him. And the village doesn't like her because of that, because now he's been suffering because of the hands of what she did, and they wanted her dead. So the point of the story is that it was like just a whole big thing where actually Sir Quan, I'm sorry, it's right there, Sir Quan, who's the knight, actually heard about this whole thing and wanted to go kill the warmonger along with the other 2 people that are in his group. So they're trying to basically say...
Oh! The Eternal Warrior is there.
Yeah.
Is that the Eternal Warrior?
No, that's Blaster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's telling about how this whole thing must be stopped. So they're trying to figure out a way of how to get to her place in order to, defeat her. And this woman comes up with, the only way we're going to get in is through science and whatnot. So they get in, and she starts to fight with them, but and she takes both of the guys out one by one. But when that lady comes in, I can't remember what her name was. Like, it just took a punch, like saying, your day is done. And then they knock her out and put her in this dungeon far, far down from this well, I'm guessing. And she really sweared a lot. and by the time they died, she found a way to escape. And she was actually talking to Ninjak, because I was wondering who she was talking to. And things didn't go too well for Ninjak in the end. With 1 down, 3 to go. And you know who the 3 are going to be? Uh-huh. That's exactly what I said. Really excellent. Definitely looking forward to reading the next issue.
Alright, this is one of the 25th anniversary specials. This is Exo Manowar special number 1. This is the 25th annual special book.
Yeah, and it's about this person. It was in the front page. Right there, go down. No, down. Shannara. And basically Shannara was with the father in the spaceship because their mother was dead and she's been sleeping for so many years. And she turned into like this metal armor face and everything. And basically the father was experimenting on her and all this stuff. And then she's just wondering like no way, like why did you do this to me? Or what is all this? And she's trying to accept the fact that she has all this armor and everything. So she goes into this island of trying to be herself, and
oh, she has the exo armor.
Yeah,
basically.
she has the exo armor, so that way she doesn't, stay frightened. And I like that she actually has the armor, because in almost every book that I've read, most of the people that I read about in the first issue are the ones that actually wear the armor. And I thought that was actually really amazing to wear, just to pass it down, I guess, from generation to generation, it looks like. And these weird-looking aliens see that, and then they know it's Shannara, and basically it just goes into, like, you know, years and years where she's in this ball, and every person that goes by it is worshipping them. Millennia later, she wakes up from that, or the Shannara, I'm guessing, who sees all these things happening inside that ball, actually wakes up from it, and then
and that's when Arik actually took the armor.
Right. And then that's how the whole Exo came to be, and that's when
so it's basically the origin of the costume.
Right. That's basically the beginning of that. And it just leaves off to where he's fighting off against these.
Oh, how interesting! So it's the origin of the exo armor.
Right. That's what I was trying to think of the word, and I couldn't get that. Oh, there was just so many books. My mind's scrambled right now.
All right, guys. So that's it for this week's indie review. As always, don't forget to check out comic-related Comic Frontline, Zone 4 Podcast, and Frontline Gaming Zone. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Big 2 review should be coming up soon. This should be up Monday morning, so the Big 2 review should be up sometime during Monday evening or Monday night, latest Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
So until then, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys in the next review.
Later, everybody.